Hello, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. We're going to be flying the Sukhoi Su-30SM today. Utilizing some basic air combat practices. This is in War Thunder simulator mode. Overview of our map, we're playing on Denmark here. Unfortunately, not a lot of open lobbies right now, so we're joining a game a little over midway through. Flying at a disadvantage, 3 versus 6. We're on the north part of the map here. Everyone still has all their airfields. Let's go ahead and push off and get to some talking about the aircraft and its capabilities. So this is a heavy air superiority fighter. You can trace its origins back to late 80s, early 90s Soviet Union. It emerged as a development program from a trainer version of the Sukhoi Su-27 flanker. So this is still a member of the flanker family. In fact, this is in NATO terminology called the Flanker H. Two-seater tandem cockpit, canards, you see them right there, and a uniquely thrust vectoring control, which gives it incredible nose authority at low speeds. This aircraft has a very powerful radar. Give us reliable track and lockout to about 100 kilometers in standard mode. High PRF or head-on tracking, you can go in excess of 100 kilometers to about 120, 140. And this aircraft carries a lot of armament, 14 missiles in total. My current loadout, one of my preferred loadouts, utilize 10 of the R77-1 variant Fox 3s, roughly equivalent in game to the AIM-120B AMRAAM. Particularly in the long range, it starts to have a disadvantage. In the close range, it has an advantage. We have 10 of the long range infrared seeking missile Fox 2s, that's the R27ET. That's the very large missile you see looking at there with the big fins. And then 2 close range infrared seeking missiles, or otherwise known as dogfighting missiles, that's the R73. So in this configuration, we are really outfitted for long range combat air patrol, if you will, air dominance. The goal here is really to not get within the MAR. That's an abbreviation. MAR stands for the minimum abort range. It's the closest range at which you can turn around and flee from an enemy's missile without it hitting you, without utilizing chaff. So really, our goal here is to essentially not cross the delta row and keep their aircraft on their side. We're dead. So that our teammates can capture points, destroy ships, bases, complete objectives, and win. So here we go, we're picking something up. We'll go ahead and state the BRAAs. It's another abbreviation, stands for bearing, range, and altitude. So that's going to be BRAA 110 at 60 kilometers. Likely low altitude, sees in a dog's fight, so I'll say no more than Angels 1. Don't want to get too mixed up in that. He's very close to allies, as we can see here. So if we shoot now, there's a good chance that we would hit a friendly. We don't want that. So we'll move on to these targets over here. What we can do is help our team by making sure that they are not approached by these opponents while performing whatever kind of mission they're attempting to. He's closing to within about 65 kilometers. That's well within the range at the speed and altitude of the R-77. So we'll go ahead and send him one. Fox 3. No. Fox 3. There it is. Oh, it took a minute. We have a very reliable Twiz lock. So we're holding him in a soft lock there, which means that he doesn't get a notification that we are essentially directing a lot of radar beams at him. He just thinks we're kind of glancing at him, when in reality we are passively sending updates to our missile about his location, guiding it towards him. We want to keep him within the gimbal limit of our radar so that that missile constantly gets those updates. I have another target here coming into view, so we'll gain some more altitude and speed again. Prepare for a launch on it. Fox 3. And then here we have a third. That's going to be the one most likely to engage us, not our ally that we see there on the radar. So Fox 3 will go ahead and send it one as well. And then we will defend to our left. Defend meaning pull away from your opponent somewhat, with the goal of reducing your closure time with them, or increasing your closure time with them, such that it would take their missile longer to get to you than yours is taking to get to them. He's also doing a similar thing. That's why you can see that little line coming off of his dot going sideways. He's not quite notching us, but he's trying to reduce that closure time. We're going to send him another one because he's likely going to defeat our first, Fox 3. Very close range now. We really shouldn't even be this close. Entirely possible that this hits him. We'll hold off on this R-27 until we see what happens. Okay, Fox 2, it's not going to connect. So we'll give him that one. And run him down a little bit. See where he wants to go with this. That R-27 should take him out, no problem. Looks like he outran it. About one more. I think that'll do the trick. There it is. Splash. 1 F-15. So that took far more missiles than it should have. Which leaves us in a position to only engage maybe one more target. We're a little outside my comfort zone in terms of how close we are to their side of the map. We did not showcase that long-range air dominance very well. We're going to have to deal with this F-18 that just showed up on our RWR, otherwise he'll run us down. Here he is here. Already well within range. Fox 3. And I would like to maintain my altitude. Here, F-18, very close. Right in front of me. This is probably going to kill us. In fact. Didn't. now we have to manage what will probably become a merge with him. Yep. Well done, he snuck up on me. Stayed low. It's not a tactic I like to utilize. I feel like it's kind of scummy, really. But it works, especially on very flat maps like this. It's one of the only things that you can really do if you don't want to fly high, fly fast, play the game we were trying to play. You essentially just sit so low that on aircraft like this with a really terrible vertical scan range, see it has 7 degrees there, you oftentimes just won't spot something until it's right up on you, and then you've lost all of your range advantage. What they're able to do at that point is it's called multipath near missile. So when you fire at them, even though you're close, well within range, your missile has the energy to hit them, it gets confused. They're so low, and it hits the ground immediately before them. But since you're already flying high because you were trying to play the long range game, their missile has no problem hitting you. Comes with its disadvantages flying that way. Of course, you spend much more fuel to go generally slower than an aircraft flying high. Your missiles have considerably less range, but it doesn't really matter that they do because you're not engaging until you're close to your opponent anyway. Your opponent's missiles have greater range, but if you multipath properly, they're not going to hit you anyway. So it's a sort of cop-out if you don't want to or can't play the ranged game. But it works, so a lot of people do it. Here we go, we got something nose hot. It means he's facing us, going very fast, clearly on an intercept route. Fox 3, close than 50 kilometers, and he's in a hard track on us, which means there's a good chance that this is an F-15A, or one of its variants, and he needs to fire Fox 1s to hit us. That missile will make contact in approximately 20 seconds. We'll go ahead and send him one more. High off Foresight Fox 3. Defeated it. Now we have to find him. Since he defeated ours. We can send him a Fox 2 from this range, long range Fox 2. Took care of it though. That was a really unfortunate engagement there. No kill, defeated our missiles very well, wasn't expecting that. It's difficult to do. But we lost 2 of our long range Fox 3s, 1 of our long range Fox 2s, that is the infrared guided missile. Expended valuable time where we were supposed to be climbing, gaining altitude, gaining speed, lost some fuel. It's inconvenienced us pretty considerably there. But it's alright. Nothing we need to go back and land for. This is a heavy air superiority fighter after all, so we've still got plenty of capability left in us to push back our opponents, bring this fight to them. Crossing through about 35,000 feet altitude now. We're just out of the clouds where I want to be. So we'll throttle back a little, stay on afterburner, but not quite as much as before. Orient ourselves to face our opponents and start looking for targets. These are being chased by allies. They're probably in a dogfight. He's alone. We're going to single him out, keep him from getting in the fight. We can have one now. Fox 3. He's getting too close to us as well, so we can also have one. It's another Fox 3. He's dead. He might be. We're gonna have to defend from that. Go cold. I don't think that we crossed the Mar, so we should be okay. Well, we definitely crossed the Mar. I'd like to see that in sensor view, because that's Mika's a very low energy missile. I find it pretty unlikely that he was able to hit us with such a late launch after we defended like that. So far, all that I'm really showcasing to you in this video is that I'm pretty terrible. And things don't really play out the way that you anticipate them to. Really though, skill is shown when you are able to make things play out the way you want them to, and not play to things happening the way you anticipate or that they do. That's where the skill comes in. You're able to force scenarios, force your opponent's defensive, force them to fly the way that you want them to so that you can get the kill, or so that you can complete your mission objective, whether that's an escort or just combat air patrol, air dominance, air superiority rather, I should say. And I've definitely made some mistakes too. In that engagement with the Rafale, I should have turned cold far sooner, or at least cranked. I stayed too nose hot so that I could continue to guide that R-77 onto him. That was really not necessary. He was clearly committed to his death and to the kill. Should have just let him eat that missile and not taken his in return. There was really zero reason to die to a Mika in an Su-30. Just because you outrange that missile so considerably. Not because the Rafale is a bad plane or the missile is a bad missile. It's not. It's just its range is very limited. It's excellent within its range, but that range is very limited. So here we go. He is nose hot, very fast. Let's see what kind of altitude we're working with here. Very high altitude, higher than us even. He's committed here. We'll send him one. Fox 3. And then we're going to need to defend. We'll pull left. Start flying lower. Try to drag his missile down a little bit. He's he's got one coming in for us, of course. Go ahead and launch on his missile. He's launched several at us. Looks like those Mikas missed. We can recommit. I like to stay at altitude if possible. Looks like he's got leaving some cons over here. I'm not sure if that's him or not. I don't think it is. I want to say he was much closer. It's a little worrisome, really. He's probably on the deck right now, pointing his radar up, looking for me. No, I bet that's him. That's almost definitely him. Once he turns around, here we go, Fox 3. We'll send another as partner here, Fox 3. And we'll defend that. He's holding the crank, which is very good. This is a seasoned Rafale player. Very aware of the capabilities of his and his opponent's jets. Fox 3 here, we have someone nose hot. We want to push him back. And closing here into 25 kilometers, this is really the danger zone. Looks like it's a Gripen. Should connect here fairly soon. There we go. Fox 3. And a Fox 2. And that's 2 of them. That was pretty clean there. That was a good example of the capabilities, but we're still going to have to defeat this missile. I think that we're far enough away. To defeat it kinematically. Yeah, that didn't take much. Really just turn cold, get a little bit low, increase our speed, and we're out. So we have a lot of fuel left, but we're running fairly short on missiles here. We have 3 more Fox 3s, 1 long-range Fox 1, and of course both of our dogfighting missiles. Ideally we don't use those, they're a last resort only. Even at that, I prefer to break off an engagement before I have to use those, turn around and go home, rather than explode those missiles. What we should do with this payload is go home, but I want to push things a little bit, see if we can, even if we don't get 1 more kill with this, maybe we could just push them defensive enough that our team has a little more time. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and recommit, come right, bring it vertical a little bit so we gain some altitude at the same time. They've probably just taken off recently over there on their island. They have, I believe, 2 airfields over there. Saw, I think, a Rafale and an F-15. So both pretty heavy hitters. F-15, better in the range, good missile capacity, multi-role, and the Rafale, lethal dogfighter, close range capabilities, second to none. Of already got him here, closing within 50 kilometers. Fox 3. It's going to be a very deadly one. Looks like he's going to be focused on our teammate though, so we're essentially just here for range support. There he is, you can see him. Got 15 seconds to impact, and our R-77 should be pitbull anytime now. Actually, no, it looks like our ally is below, and he is staying very far. Now here I have to decide what it's worth. Do I continue the push, where he may turn around and get a quick launch on me? What do I do? I could send him a Fox 2 from here, but he'll likely defeat it. As he's recommitting now, we'll just send him a Fox 3. As it hasn't gone pitbull yet, he'll continue his turnaround and he'll come face us. And that's exactly what we want him to do. We want him to think it's safe to come back and to essentially fly right into that missile. There he is. And our missile is still on a excellent intercept course. There's a good chance that this kills him. No, looks like he'll outrun it. He's going to attempt to take this all the way back to his airfield, I think. We can't really follow that. We shouldn't follow that, at least. We should turn around right now. But we'll send him just this last one. He thinks he can handle it. He's turning back in. He's got some nerve. Of course, to be fair, so do I. Pushing in this close. At this point, we're essentially committed to a within the MAR close range fight. We're actually at the disadvantage right now because we have lost him. There he is. Bring him back up. Give him a long range Fox 2. That one. We should never have pushed it. That's the lesson that you learn there. You just don't make the mistake from the beginning. It's a crying shame that he got to win that. But we knew what we were doing and we did it anyway. He did all the right things to defeat those missiles, and while possible, it's frustrating still just because it's so improbable that someone possesses that skill and knowledge and pulls it off. Sometimes just luck is not on your side, and those few things that need to go right that you can't control don't go your way. But it all worked out in his favor, so he should count himself lucky. Good pilot too. What we did succeed in doing there was pushing him all the way back to his airfield. So that was our, up until the point where we committed past being able to kill him reliably, that was our win. We had him pushed back. We had him defensive. If we had had a greater objective there, such as allow attackers to hit an airfield or provide ground support or something like that, as you saw from the way that he was flying, he was completely unable to do anything but defend from us. So we would have completed our objective had we had a bigger, more important objective. But as it was, we were just trying to achieve air dominance and Though we pushed him back to his airfield, in the end, he got to live. We died. So we sort of lost it. Had we just turned around, would we still have those few missiles left that we had after we had pushed him defensive even? We could have landed, rearmed our missiles, and he would have had to have done the same thing. So we would have controlled that airspace the whole time, which would have remained a win for us. Instead, we held a win up until the end. We snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, essentially. So I'm going to transition now to a little less narration and just more making my call-outs, flying, focusing on performance and objectives, and let you guys enjoy the beauty of this aircraft and this scenery and some gameplay. Thanks for tuning in. Because I can't win it, but it's not worth the effort. Just turn around, dump his missiles, land, and it's a little bit of a sportsmanship thing with me. I like to push people right when they're taking off, pushing their airfields. I feel like it's a poor way to play. probably going to run us down. Except that maybe we already have a speed advantage. He can definitely accelerate faster. He definitely has a higher top speed. I don't think a missile from that range will hit. Launched in rear aspect with us going this fast. We're just gonna make it bleed a little bit of energy anyway though. I would like to engage him, but in the time it takes me to turn around, I will be closing within the MAR. Yeah, I'm committing to a fairly close range fight if he hasn't turned around already. Looks like there's a good chance that he's dropped interest though. We'll recommit vertical. I really thought there in the beginning that was him, that F-15 that we were engaging. I don't know where that F-18 came from. Maybe he had his radar off. It's really not common for players to do that. Not great speed on that launch. We need another one going faster. We'll double tap it. No problem in that. We'll defend here. I like to hold that twist lock as long as possible. Now that we can safely recommit. Here he is. Should have known that would happen. There we go. Merge F-18. I think we can handle this okay. I'm pretty confident in the SU-30's ability. Oh, as I say that, he goes and gets a gun kill on me. Look at that. Nose control. Wildly impressive. I really don't think he should have been able to pull like that. But he pulled it off. Impressive. We should have pulled all those G's right at the beginning. Engaged that thrust vectoring and did that immediately instead of waiting. That gave him the time to close that circle. But I just have such a terrible pilot. I would have likely passed out and not been able to fire my missile anyway. Really horrible game for us, honestly. That was pretty mediocre at best. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you were still able to learn something from that, or at least enjoy some of the gameplay. Maybe next time we'll be a little more successful.